From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for The Debate.
The Debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group and NECC.
Hello and welcome. I am Aishwarya Kapoor and you're watching The Debate at 9. The Modi government completes 8 years. The record speaks for itself. Can the opposition deny the transformation? That's debate number 1, viewers. With the Prime Minister on stage, Stalin lays down his demands. Has the Prime Minister's response extinguished the debate once and for all? That's debate number 2. An artist targeted, little kids shot at. But why are the bleeding hearts silent? That's the 3rd debate tonight here.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
It's 8 years of the Modi government, 8 years of transformation. The Modi mantra makes India a global power that can no longer be sidelined.
आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है.
An unprecedented pandemic and an unprecedented action. Modi administration completes 8 years of a reformative and transformative government. But the opposition remains in denial mode, calls it 8 years of jumlacracy and misgovernance.
Government of India is fully committed to further popularizing Tamil language and culture. Central Institute of Classical Tamil was inaugurated in Chennai.
Prime Minister Modi extinguishes the language fire, puts India first in a big unity message.
ये आज़ादी है. अगर हिंदू मारेगा मुसलमान तुम देखो, मगर ये मुसलमान मुसलमान को मारते हैं, तो यही आज़ादी है. ये आज़ादी नहीं है.
क्या आप इसको कहेंगे कि ये टेररिज्म हो रहा है?
फिर क्या टेररिज्म, तो फिर क्या है?
India roads for justice for Amreen Bhatt. But why don't Mehbooba and Omar Abdullah call out terror? And it's a big arrest in the Vice Yes Bank DHFL case. CBI arrest ABIL Group Chairman Avinash Bhosle. Hello and welcome viewers, I am Aishwarya Kapoor and you're watching The Debate. As Prime Minister Modi completes 8 years in office, brand Modi, as it's said, is the most trusted, venerable and visible entity nationally according to the BJP. While his approval rating surged to a global high of 70% post-COVID, by the way, the highest ratings accorded to any leader during the most dystopic times in history, ladies and gentlemen. What India needs is a new electric fire to stir up a fresh vigor in the national veins. That's not me. This was Swami Vivekananda's edict for an awakened and progressive nation, viewers. A vision that BJP claims decades later was fueled by none other than Narendra Damodar Das Modi in the 8 years he has led India since 2014. While journalism is considered the first draft of history, history, it is said, is written and scripted by the might of victors. In the annals of independent India during 8 years of Modi reign, his emotive appeal and connect which even the opposition cannot deny, has run so deep. He remains the supreme victor in that he won hearts by impacting the destiny of millions, says the BJP. Victors normally win through subjugation and wars, but Modi, BJP says, through sublimation and by placing socio-economic uplift of 1.38 billion Indians above all else, above the prejudice of race, caste or religion, stresses the BJP. The Bharatiya Janata Party has deliberately time and again stressed on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's successive tenures, has claimed that they have witnessed most path-breaking reforms since 1991-92, addressing the complex structural issue, viewers, like transmitting from a cash to a formal economy with political conviction. Regardless of the possibility of negative electoral outcomes, the benefits accruing from such transformative reforms will be tangible for decades, they say. Decades. Just to abridge what I feel, BJP says the most important is the universalization of health, housing, rural electrification, toilets. These are all issues which connect the common masses, which connect with you, viewers. Internet connectivity for the youth, water supply, followed by the widening the ambit of financial inclusion and delivery of direct benefit transfers. Over 300 schemes implemented with scale, speed and precisions. I've been saying that several writers in their books, we can carry on. Several writers in their books have mentioned that how we've scaled up. And I say, scaled up on the Global Innovation Forum, the Global Innovation Index, where we are ranked 48, viewers, or how we became a top global FDI destination, attracting over 80 billion in 2020 and 21. I'm saying all this because when the opposition comes in, they just cannot have a rant. They have to hit back with figures. These are higher peaks India has been scaling since 2014, and BJP, make no doubt about it, shout it from the top floor. Top floor. But while the BJP is busy, viewers, and I have full panel ready with me in the next 60 seconds, while the BJP is more than ready or is too busy in counting the positives of the last 8 years, the opposition says all these schemes, all these points are just numbers and nothing is being transmitted on ground. But then the point arises, if that's true, the same opposition, this is the opposition which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has defeated twice consecutively and handsomely. But they are just not ready to accept that there's some problem with them. They blame the media, they blame us. But I say, if we are the problem, then how come Prime Minister Modi defeats the complete opposition twice and is ready to do that again? Because the BJP says it's the work, it's the schemes, it's the decision taken by the man single-handedly in the last 8 years as the Prime Minister of India. Viewers, let's debate Modi at 8. That's it.
26th May 2014, amid slogans of Bharat Mata ki Jai, Narendra Modi took oath as the Prime Minister of India.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
5 years later, he returned to power with a larger majority and a resounding mandate. And the 8-year journey so far has been marked with transformative change, bold reforms and decisive actions.
मगर कांग्रेस पार्टी वोट बैंक के डर से हिम्मत नहीं कर रही। एक 56 इंच की छाती वाला आदमी नरेंद्र मोदी है।
India has shifted gears to be a global mover and shaker.
भारत में अब तक का सबसे ज्यादा रिकॉर्ड एफडीआई आया। आज दुनिया ये महसूस कर रही है कि इंडिया मीन्स बिजनेस.
India has shown the ability to maneuver dynamic foreign landscape with finesse by meeting Putin on one hand and leading the way at Quad on the other.
Internally, Modi government has proven that it will put the nation first without the fear of external forces or internal unelectables.
Reform, perform, transform. It has been the mantra of the Modi government.
और अब वोकल फॉर लोकल और आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान में भी हम जन भागीदारी की ताकत को देख रहे हैं. जब जनता सहयोग करती है तो नतीजे अवश्य मिलते हैं, जल्दी मिलते हैं.
And in face of unprecedented problems, the Modi government did not shy away from unprecedented solutions.
आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है.
The Modi government unshackled the nation from Parivarvad syndrome and put merit first.
परिवारवाद और परिवारवादी पार्टियां देश के लोकतंत्र और देश के युवा दोनों की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन है.
And it unleashed economic transformation even in the toughest times, leading to a 3-time surge in market capitalization of BSE listed stocks. But the opposition is in denial mode about the achievements of the Modi government.
आज 8 साल के बाद सभी नारों की, वादों की, जुमलों की समीक्षा करें तो मोदी सरकार की प्रत्येक नाकामी उनके द्वारा दिए गए वादों, नारों और जुमलों के अंदर आपको देशवासियों साफ दिखाई पड़ेगी.
While there is a lot to achieve, India has certainly come a long way. We have put behind the era of scams. CWG scam, Colgate scam, the INX media deal scam. Today, India no longer has to deal with the usual coalition dharma compulsion.
In 8 years and 2 terms, Prime Minister Modi got the ball rolling on a vision for a new India.
लेकिन 75 से 2047 इंडिया एट 100 ये रूटीन नहीं हो सकता है. ये आज का अमृत महोत्सव हमारा वो एक वाटरशेड होना चाहिए जिसमें अब 25 साल को एक इकाई के रूप में ही हमने देखना चाहिए, टुकड़ों में नहीं देखना चाहिए.
Let's debate.
Well, let's debate. I have with me BJP's national spokesperson Shahzad Poonawala. I have the managing partner and Council Age India and brand guru Sohail Seth joining in live from New York. I have Karuna Gopal, political analyst and founder, president, Foundation of Futuristic Cities. Live from Delhi, I have Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Welcome, Ghanshyam. I have Riju Datta, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Reena Gupta, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Meeta Chakrabarti, political commentator, leans towards the Congress. Live from Kolkata. I start with you, Shahzad. All the fingers. You may say all the schemes. Huh? Right. Whatever the decisions, right from demonetizations to whatever. India came together under COVID, but the opposition says these are just jumlas. They are saying there's nothing which has happened on ground. And I'm directly coming to it because they say whatever figures you may give, they're all forged. They don't believe one figure which the government says. I don't know what they believe anymore, but they say that you have only limited your delivery to speaking and not on ground. Shahzad.
13 crore toilets are built, 9 crore cylinders are given, 80 crore people are given free rations for 2 years. When you have 9 crore households which are now given Nal Se Jal, if these are still only figures for them and these are only talking points for them, then the recent 4 elections where we have won, that will be an indicator. But let me leave the figures aside. I have got a lot of figures, but I'll show you 2 pictures. Okay. And these pictures will show you what has changed in 8 years. Yeah. If you can show it full frame. Here is a picture 8 years ago. How this...
You are also learning direction.
This full frame. We have to go full frame because this government goes full frame and full frontal. And this is the Atanki who was called for Dawate Biryani during Manmohan Singh's time. This is the same Manmohan Singh after 26/11 when Fali Major told him कि चलो surgical strike करते हैं. He said Sonia ji से पूछना पड़ेगा and Sonia ji refused. And they could not even take MFN status back. And today, this Atanki Yasin, he has been caught by the scruff of his neck, convicted in terror funding case. He'll be convicted, inshallah, in the other cases also, in the death of Ravi Khanna, murder of Ravi Khanna. But this is the difference. This is the difference. Now, these figures can be disputed by them because they can dispute anything. They can dispute democracy. They can dispute Indian Army's strength also. But can they dispute these pictures? Can they dispute the fact that 2011 के बाद एक model था that they could not take MFN status, and today there's surgical strike, there's Balakot airstrike, and this Ghanshyam Tiwari, he was blaming India for Pulwama. Ram Gopal Yadav had said that Pulwama happened because of elections. So today, forget everything else. Just accept on this national security front.
Good evening, Ghanshyam.
Now he'll go to unemployment.
Good evening to you, the viewers, and my co-panelists. It's strange that Shehzad starts with a lie, and he can't prove what he just said, that I blamed India for Pulwama. This is absolute nonsense. I don't know why somebody would start a debate with a lie. But that aside, here is please don't interrupt. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. Here is a picture for picture.
Ram Gopal Yadav, anyways, you are not relevant.
Let him. Let him complete.
Here is a picture from today's Indian Express. I think Shehzad should look at it. The picture says that in India between 2017 and 2021, the class 3 student today scores less on language than 2017.
Can we get over these reports and can we debate, guys?
Can you not interrupt?
Can we get over
I will not speak.
Showing pictures and showing articles and let's debate?
After 15 minutes of Modi praise, allow me to speak 1 minute. The newspaper says that a class 3 student in India today, this is national survey by the government of India across 720 districts, scores less in language, less in mathematics than in 2017. A class 5 student scores less. A class 8 student, a class 10 student score less. So education has gone down for the first time ever in this country. And to Shehzad, I want to say that a government that was shown in Achhe Din Aayenge, if everyone here believes that their Achhe Din has come, they are seeing dollar at 40 rupees, petrol diesel at under 40 rupees, they are seeing 2 crore jobs, they are benefited by demonetization. They believe Mudra scheme has given jobs to their children, and they believe that India has smart cities and bullet trains. India has smart cities and bullet trains, and India has become a $5 trillion economy. Then be my guest, celebrate Mr. Modi. But the fact is, every one of you or viewer has been fooled by a government where the Prime Minister's photo is at every petrol pump.
Today India is the largest, fastest growing economy in the world. Today India has got the highest FDI. Today India's exports are highest in the world in terms of percentage terms. It has increased more than USA's exports. It has increased more than Canada's exports.
This is not the way to debate. These are the facts.
These facts you will not agree.
Wait for your time. Wait for your time.
These facts you will not agree.
Wait for your time.
Today India is the center, global center of attention.
Wait for your time.
COVID vaccine management, beat our vaccine production, our vaccine mandate, beat the fact that Ukraine-Russia crisis, the entire world was looking at us. You can deny these facts,
You cannot tell one achievement of this government, and I ask you about education, you don't answer. This is not done.
I'll tell you about education also. I'll tell you about education also. Let's talk about education.
Coming to you after this.
I'll come to him about education. 16 IITs in 65 years. Now
now you listen. 13 IITs in 65 years. 13 IITs in 65 years. No. Now listen. Why don't you listen? Now 20 IITs. Why don't you listen? Medical seats. 82,500 medical seats in 60 years. Today there are 1,48,000 medical seats. There were 723 universities in 65 years. Today there's 1,043 universities built in the last 8 years. Why don't you talk about education? Let's talk about education.
Let's talk about education.
Let him also complete. Yeah. Okay.
Well, he did not allow me to conclude. My final point is that if your viewers believe that their education has become better, Reuters reported that 41 lakh kids who were in private school last year are no more in private schools. WHO says that 47.8 million people in India died of COVID. If a viewer believes that all these figures are false, that we are all on our way to become a more equal society, more harmonious society. It is sabka saath, sabka vikas. And this 100 rupees petrol is a chanda that we are giving to Mr. Modi ji, and 1,000 rupees cylinder is a Desh Bhakti that we are showing. They must celebrate Mr. Modi.
I'm just waiting for Ghanshyam.
No, I understand. Sohail.
I'm the only perhaps apolitical person on this panel. I have no political affiliation. I detest all political parties with equanimity. I have only 4 or 5 things to say, and I want to pick up from where Ghanshyam left. Ghanshyam twice alluded to your viewers. When I last checked, Narendra Modi is an elected prime minister twice by the people of India. I imagine that Ghanshyam, when he talks about viewers, he's also including within that subset the people of India. So they've elected him. Rightly or wrongly, you might say jumla hua, nahi hua, but he's an elected prime minister. Let me tell you the second point. I go abroad, I travel, I speak at various fora, and I have to tell you only one thing. The respect with which India is held today was never the case before, for 3 reasons. Number 1, because of our economic prowess. Number 2, we have converted from a nation of shopkeepers into a nation of entrepreneurs. Today, no matter what you might say about unicorns, no matter what you might say about, startup India, it is working. Number 3, if you talk to people across the world, and I'm not even saying India, yes, COVID had some of its flaws, but trust me, for a country of our size and the way COVID was managed, it was managed brilliantly. And you ask anyone that across the world. I will only end my initial remarks by the following comments. Work in progress is the hallmark and the leitmotif of India, and it will be. Have we traveled a distance under Narendra Modi? The answer is yes. The figures speak for themselves. Number 2, are there things that have gone wrong? I will list 2. Number 1, I think the government has been unable to communicate some of the good it has done, and it has allowed perversions to take place where communities have been attacked or vilified or whatever. I think course correction is required in that. Number 2, as was rightly alluded by Aishwarya in his opening remarks, there's a certain amount of inclusiveness that is needed. We cannot have an MSME sector which today is facing a lot of issues, but I guess hopefully that will also be tackled. And my last point is that, it's very easy to find fault. Give the man credit for what he's done. Does he work hard? The answer is yes. Has it been a corruption-free government? The answer is yes. Has he gone back and attacked people who have attacked our country? The answer is yes. Now, cut people some slack. This is work in progress, and I'm holding no brief for Narendra Modi. I don't belong to the BJP, never will. My point is simple. When you travel, when you meet people within the country, they only have good things to say about governance, and there are some oddities which I've referred to in my remarks. That's where I will leave my opening remarks. And now, please interrupt, please do whatever. But
Reena Gupta seems to be amused, but Reena Gupta, before I come to you, sir. Right, sir. Reena Gupta, you were amused.
Can I add something?
But I'll just say 3 points, Reena, and then I'm coming to you of the Aam Aadmi Party. And first point is, has merit been put above dynasty or not, Reena Gupta? Have big, bold decisions been taken or not, Reena Gupta? Have transformative schemes being delivered or not, Reena Gupta? And not the last, but has India's diplomatic prowess increased or not, Reena Gupta?
Aishwarya, it has been great Jumla regime for the past 8 years, and one promise after the other. But I think, Aishwarya, you and I are living in a different reality in a different country, because the country that I'm living in right now, you were talking a lot about FDI. There is an index that Suhail would know about. It's called Kearney's Confidence Index of FDI. This year, India does not even feature. That index tells, can I complete please? No interruption, like you gave Suhail and Tehseen time. I don't want any interruption, please. India
you
does
will
not
also
feature.
speak. Everyone will. Please carry on.
What are the countries where companies have confidence for investment? This year, India does not feature. Point number 1. Point number 2, what economy are we talking about? Dollar at 77, record lowest. Now let's talk about the people of this country. Just 2 things I will talk about, and I'm talking about hard numbers. No jumla baji here. there is a hunger index where we are featuring below Bangladesh and Pakistan. There is an index called happiness index where again we are below Pakistan and Bangladesh. So, the country is not happy. The country is hungry. There is no FDI and the rupee is at record lowest. Our children are malnourished. Inflation is the highest. Unemployment record 35 years lowest. What world are you talking about? These are hard numbers. If this is the situation of the country, then I'm very sorry to say that except for Jumlebaji, except for, thank you Modi ji, newspaper advertisements, there is nothing which has been achieved. On the other hand, what is the 7-year regime achieved? We have seen vaccine shortage, we have seen oxygen shortage, we have seen coal shortage, we have seen a Pegasus scam where the government spied on its own ministers. You give me one area where we have progressed in the last 7-8 years. Not one area we have
Is it
progressed
right,
in.
Shehzad?
What we have progressed
Reena ji.
Now I need to take the government's answer also in this. You've raised a lot of questions now. Let the government answer. Karuna Gopal coming to you in exactly 2 minutes. Karuna Gopal coming to you in exactly 2 minutes. Karuna Gopal.
Reena ji.
Veena and Shehzad.
Reena, now you... Reena, this is not your advertisement. This is not your advertisement. This is a debate. This is not your advertisement. It's a debate. You have to hear the other side. Reena, this is not your paid advertisement. This is a debate. Maybe you're not clear with the concept of how a debate works. This is not the ads that you're paying
one by one, guys, please.
Money. Reena, this is not an ad slot. ये एड स्लॉट नहीं, ये डिबेट है, सुनना भी पड़ेगा. अब सुन लीजिए रीना जी, बाकी सब छोड़ दीजिए. अरे सुन लीजिए ना, एड देने के आप आदी हैं.
Guys, on the topic. Guys, please.
Reena,
don't get personal.
Don't get touchy about that.
On the topic.
Don't get touchy about that. It's for my money. It's for my money you're spending. Anyway,
on the topic.
Anyway, Reena ji, सब propaganda है. Kashmir Files is also propaganda. Kashmiri Hindu genocide is also propaganda. We are all propagandists. Justice Ganju being killed is also propaganda. Only you are right. Now please, man. Reena ji, you have to listen. Reena ji, debates work by listening. Reena ji, this is not your one way.
Now your counter is coming in. Okay, Shehzad, hold on. Reena Gupta, you made your point. Reena Gupta, you made your point. I need to go to the other panelists as well. Reena, then I'll jump on. Reena, please, yeah.
Reena ji,
Shehzad is just countering you.
Two simple questions. Reena, very simple question. रीना जी, आपने जब 7 साल पहले 8 साल पहले आप मुख्यमंत्री बने दिल्ली के, तो आपने बोला कि आप 500 स्कूल और 20 अस्पताल खोलेंगे. Can you name just one new school you built? One new school. बाकी सब छोड़ दीजिए. And you said you'll help. No, one second. Because they are saying that Modi has done nothing, but they have done everything.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So let me ask him only one new school. One new school, name the school.
Okay, let her name.
एक स्कूल का नाम बता दो.
I don't need to talk about schools. The United Nations is talking
अरे
about
एक स्कूल का नाम बता दो ना, मैं दिल्ली में ही रहता हूँ, मैं जाकर ढूंढ लूंगा. आप बता दीजिए स्कूल का नाम.
Came to India.
New
she
school.
went to see the schools of Delhi. She did not go to see the schools of Gujarat. Why did Mrs. Trump go?
Karuna Gopal and Viju Datta. Listen, Sohail said, who is at the East Coast right now, early in the morning, is having such a debate, is becoming a part of it. But I'm just going to Karuna Gopal and Viju Datta.
She can't name a new school.
Karuna Gopal and Riju Datta. Guys, please. It's a very serious issue. Karuna Gopal and Riju Datta. Karuna Gopal, first you and then Riju Datta.
Yeah. For a walk tomorrow.
Please, Reena ji, relax.
How can I name 20,000 schools?
Reena, relax. Okay. But the topic is different today. We will discuss Arvind Kejriwal's government also. Don't worry. Yeah. Karuna Gopal first. Karuna Gopal first.
Aishwarya.
Please relax.
Yeah. Listening to the Aishwarya, listening to the whining of the opposition. It is a clear indication that the opposition is not able to stomach the fact that Modi ji's leadership and governance style is a fantastic combination of courage and compassion, right from abrogating Article 370 to integrating the Northeast. For heaven's sake, Northeast was never considered to be a part of India. And he has done these bold steps. Obviously, the opposition is just not able to stomach it because his heart and head are on the same street. They move in tandem. And this is something I think the opposition is just not able to take. Judging by what is being said now, the simple thing is, looks like the opposition is experiencing what we call as the Red Queen effect, because they have to, they have to run twice as fast to be just staying in that place. And I think they lost the steam. So there is a whole bunch of, in fact, Shahzad was giving away a lot of statistics. But just one thing that is very important is we have forgotten that IMF, as recently as a few weeks ago, said that India is going to grow at 8.2% growth. So we are a large nation which was historically a part of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India and China. And we are moving into the tips. The Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, which are small nations but growing at a faster rate. And imagine India being such a big nation and actually moving with enormous amount of agility. I mean, the opposition doesn't seem to understand this at all.
Right.
And
okay,
the
can I come in now?
important thing is,
why is the opposition not understanding, Meeta and Riju Datta? One by one, first Meeta and then Riju Datta.
Thank you so much. First of all,
why is the
I have been waiting very patiently for my
the sake of it,
turn. I would like a few minutes of uninterrupted talk time.
Please do, Meeta. Your turn has come. Please speak.
Thank you. Thank you. But the lady is still talking.
There was absolutely no startup. We were not even on the map of the startups. Today we have 100 unicorns with almost 60,000 startups.
Karuna Gopal, Meetu is making a point now.
Economy, ecology and equity.
Karuna Gopal, Meeta is making a point now. Please,
navigated so
Karuna Gopal, okay. Karuna Gopal, you made your point. Karuna Gopal, you made your point.
What else?
Okay,
what else
Meeta seems to be very fond of numbers and
let
statistics.
Meeta counter
so let me just go and quote some numbers and statistics here.
Please.
I think the last I saw in Global Hunger Index, we were in a position of 55. Now, currently, we are in a position of 101. In freedom of press, a very, very important parameter, we are currently in a position of 150. Press seems to be completely divided and completely monopolized. In fact, some time back, if I may make this observation, I felt almost relieved when you would make a very long statement in favor of the BJP government, and then you would end that statement by saying, as BJP says, almost to be politically correct. Otherwise, it almost sounded as if I'm listening to a BJP press conference. If you go to our unemployment numbers, I think we are at a 45-year high. If you look at the SMEs, I believe the number quoted, again, the government figures, is 60 lakhs SMEs have closed down. 34% people's income has gone up. 12 crore people have lost their jobs. If you look at the number of farmers' suicide and farmers' agitation because of the 3 laws that were proposed, if you look at the rupee value falling, the fuel price hike, both petrol and diesel, if you look at the Chinese aggression, if you look at the inflation rate, I'm not sure if we're really living in the same reality in same country. These are hard data. When we talk about unemployment, when we talk about SME sector, when we talk about farmers' agitation and the suicide rate, when we talk about global hunger, when we talk about freedom of press, when we talk about monopolization,
let Sohail make a point
talking
and then I'll
about
just come to
hard data. Now, my last point, please,
Shahzad, just let Sohail make a point
and I do not want to shout over anyone else. Hatred is a very strong
wants to come in there.
All that we were discussing in primetime debates about Hindu Muslims, about waging a war against Aurangzeb, about where a mosque is found and where Shivling is found. While this is important, we are only emphasizing on polarization, on keeping a community in a state of constant fear.
You have put facts, Meeta. Now let Sohail,
about issues of development, about issues of unemployment, about issues that affect our day-to-day lives.
Okay, Meeta. Sohail. Sohail, please. Yeah, Sohail.
Some of the points that Meeta has made are substantiated by, as she says, hard data. I want to just address 2 or 3 points very quickly. Number one, yes, you're absolutely right. There's been a debate on the historical contextuality of India. But to my mind, Meeta, it is a debate. You cannot have one view which has been a left-leaning, left-inspired view pre-independence and has continued till Narendra Modi came on the scene. Number 2, I don't think it is demeritorious or a crime to actually talk about the civilizational legacy of a country. Are more people inspired by that civilization legacy today? The answer is yes. I mean, for all his sins, a person who the party, the Congress forgot, Narasimha Rao, who was a great reformist, even that person has been rekindled. His inspirational zeal has been rekindled by Narendra Modi. So I don't think we should paint everything with one brush. You're absolutely right about one thing, and I alluded to it in my opening remarks. I think this whole polarization and continuous debate on community versus community needs to stop. We need to continue to build on one India, one nation, one narrative. And I've repeatedly said that, and I think it is the failure of a government to communicate and contextualize that communication. Having said that, and Neeta, this is my last point, and thank you for your patience.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about a world which around us is collapsing. COVID created mayhem economically and socially across the world. The Ukraine war, with its supply chain issues, Shanghai supply chain issues, has created another, warlike situation. We, to my mind, have done very well in comparison to what woes could have befallen us. And all I'm saying is, and I said this in my opening remarks, it's work in progress. I mean, everything can't be hunky-dory. It never was, it never will be. He's only the prime minister. He's not a magician with a wand. So I think we need to recognize the role that India plays in the comedy of nations and the role that the prime minister has to play within the ecosystem that he's surrounded by. I'm done. Thank you.
Shehzad and Riju. Ganjam Tiwari coming.
We're talking about hard data. I hope I'll be heard patiently.
Yeah, everyone.
Internet connectivity 25 crores today, 83 crores. Broadband connectivity 6.1 crore connection, 79 crores today. Power supply in rural areas 12 hours, 22 hours today. National highway rate of construction per day 12 kilometers per day, 29 kilometers per day today. Toilet coverage 50% से कम था, 100% आज हो गया है. Jan Dhan account 17 crores, now it is 45 crores. UPI transactions only 1.7 crores today. The rupees today the entire amount or value is 84 trillion rupees. Polio vaccine took 50 years to come into India. Today we have 190 crores. COVID vaccination. Now don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
Shehzad and Riju.
Carry on. Forex reserves $250 billion. Today $600 billion. Unicorns are 4 and 60 years. Today there are 96 unicorns. By the way, Meeta ji, you're talking about freedom of press. When did you speak up when the freedom of press was under attack? When Arnab Goswami was treated most unfairly by the Maharashtra government? When Rajasthan filed sedition cases against journalists? You didn't speak up. Anyways, doesn't matter. Inflation, average inflation 10% during the UPA tenure. Today 6.5% to 7.5%. Despite the COVID challenge, despite the Ukraine-Russia war. Unemployment 20% plus in Rajasthan for the last 1 year. You will not open your mouth. As far as your freedom of democracy index is concerned, Canada, which struck down on the truckers' protest, is higher than India, which dealt with in a very democratic manner with the farmers' protest. But yet Canada is higher. That's okay. You can believe this entire democratic ratings, whatever you like to believe. Gyanwapi, the issue was settled by a court. Hijab, the issue was settled by a court. Teen Talaq, the issue was settled by a court.
India,
if for you a court is doing communal politics, then you should take it up with the court of law. But you should ask why the Congress party and your ilk do not support a court order on Gyanwapi, Teen Talaq or Hijab.
Riju Datta, spokesperson of the TMC. Riju Datta.
Can I come in now? Thank you. Thank you.
Please,
we are having a civilized debate on Republic with the esteemed panelists. I have waited for 40 minutes. Give me the courtesy of 2 minutes just. Uninterrupted. Thank you. So I just want to say, yes, 8 years of Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi, and yes, it's been quite a journey. We have seen a Fakir become a Chaukidar and then a Vishwaguru and now Bulldozer Baba. 8 years of Jumlacracy, from demonetization to betrayal of farmers, from highest unemployment to record inflation, from PM Care scam to COVID mismanagement, from Pegasus to zero press freedom, from vendetta politics to compromised central agencies to politics of religion. We have seen it all. What happened in the last 8 years was systematically the Modi government broke the backbone of every woman, every youth, and in turn the essence of India. So my only thing I have to say is this, that this is, and even all this is not the worst bit. The worst bit is when every BJP Neta and the Prime Minister himself calls it Achhe Din and Amrit Kal. So my only earnest appeal on this channel today is to the Pradhan Mantri is कि sir हमें हमारे बुरे दिन वापस कर दे और आप भारत को बख्श दे. That's all I have to say.
Shehzad is countering. Shehzad is countering.
Rijuji,
Shehzad and then
what was the observation of the Honorable High Court in the post-poll violence case? Rule of law or law of the ruler? And by the way, how much VAT have you cut since you're talking about price rise on petrol? We've cut excise duty twice. How much VAT has West Bengal government cut on petrol? Please inform me. Maharashtra has cut tax on imported liquor. They have not cut any VAT on petrol. Please tell me, educate me. I am uneducated. Please tell me, Tamil Nadu, how much has it cut the VAT on petrol? Please tell me how much it costs for a litre of petrol in Mumbai. I think it costs 111 rupees, and in Uttar Pradesh it costs 96 rupees. That's because every litre of petrol, West Bengal charges 26 rupees, and Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh charge 16 rupees. Maharashtra charges 32 rupees. Andhra Pradesh charges 31 rupees. Gujarat charges 16 rupees. Why is it that you are not able to give this relief? Please educate us. Please educate us. The problem is, Mr. Riju Datta, we were having a civilized debate.
One by one, guys.
Having a civilized debate.
One by one, guys.
TMC, Talibani mindset and culture entered. Now please listen to me. There's a difference. Today you have a cap lobby. Cap lobby matlab those who are considering only commission, ambition and position. That has been replaced by mission and vision of Prime Minister. So this cap lobby, cap. Do you understand cap? Cap means commission, ambition and position lobby has been rejected by the people of India, and mission and vision wala have been given the task to govern this country.
Gansham Tiwari, and then Reena.
Thank you.
And then I need to go back.
I'll give a quick rebuttal.
Karuna Gopal, and the only man who doesn't represent any political party, so I'll say it.
10 seconds rebuttal.
Gansham. Okay, Rijuda.
First you tell us.
Okay, Rijuda. 5 seconds.
The money that the central government.
Carry on.
Yes. I'll just make a statement. The central government owes the state of West Bengal 97,000 crores. You give our money, we will give 5 years tax-free petrol and diesel in Bengal. Number one.
Gansham Tiwari. Okay, point taken.
If you talk about violence and
Gansham Tiwari is coming.
Let's not start from 2002.
Gansham Tiwari. Rijuda.
Your hands are
time.
with the blood of innocents. Don't give us lectures.
Gansham and can have Karuna Gopal there. Yeah. Gansham, Reena, Karuna Gopal. Yeah.
Three quick things. In 2014, Indian government, state and center collected roughly 3 lakh crores in tax on petrol and diesel. In 2021, in the height of COVID, the government collected 6 lakh crore. Do you know who pocketed 4.25 lakh crore from that? The central government. Everyone is paying the tax of this Achhe Din Sarkar. They have single-handedly taken the money from a poor man, middle-class man, taken the education opportunities for a middle-class family, taking the earning from a migrant family, and given it to the pockets of Adanis and their favorite people. BJP itself doubles its income as a political party every 1.5 years. That's point number one. Point number two, to your viewers. And Sohail said that the viewers vote. Yes, they vote, but this is not. Their vote is not a report card. The point is that to your viewers, if your child is suffering due to unemployment, and this government, the best idea that came was Pakode Becho. Mudra Yojana has failed. There's not one person on this panel can show one article in the last 1 year that says Mudra Yojana is successful. The government itself does not believe. Demonetization has failed. So what we wanted was a clinical doctor
coming in 10 seconds.
Black money, change things. Clinical doctor who will change things. What instead is a person who has the power of
30 seconds. Give 30 seconds to Sohail and then
it's full of lies and more lies.
There is great theatrics and zero.
Rijuda, calm down. Rijuda, calm down.
I just want to say one thing to Ghansham.
Okay, Ghansham. Sohail first and then Reena. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Elections are not a report card. What would you say of Akhilesh Yadav's stellar bouncing back in Uttar Pradesh? Would you not say it was a report card on his ability to promise the people? It is. All elections are a report card, my friend. A report card doesn't mean that you have to go and get it signed by your parents. The fact is, how do you determine democracies? Mamata Banerjee, against the entire might and the onslaught of the BJP, won her election last year. And I salute her for that. Would I not say that the people of West Bengal have voted because they believe in her? Of course they have. That's a report card. I mean, I don't mean that you have a report card which then gets published and signed by parents. I mean, for God's sake. And Ghansham, you're far too intelligent to recognize what I really mean. In a democracy, the only determinant is if people vote for you. Because if they vote for you, they believe in you. Please ask Reena. Aam Aadmi Party has done remarkably well with schools and mohalla clinics. People are voting for them. People have voted for them in Punjab. So don't diminish democracy or decry it.
My simple point is, it is a fact. Who won the election is a fact. We are debating issues. So it's coming to a debate and say that because they won the election. Please, I did not interrupt. Please, I did not interrupt. I did not interrupt. where we are debating issues that matter the common man, whether the child is getting education, whether the youth is getting employment, whether the health services are better. You tell me, Sohail, one report, I challenge you, across the world, you are saying that across the world people are praising, 25 lakh people came from outside, across the world, Indians, hapless in COVID times. Have you seen one report this government has presented how it has helped them? Do you know how many people surrendered their Indian passport in the last 3 years? And this government report, 35,000 crore millionaires left country. There's a flight of talent and capital.
You want me to tell you one report you are challenging? Okay. No. Let Sohail answer and then I'll tell you the facts. Let Sohail answer back to you. Let Sohail answer you and then I'll give you facts.
My final point.
Sohail is giving you back.
My final point. Very quick. Final point. That we are not discussing the fact that who won the election.
Okay,
we are discussing performance, which is a wider report card.
So you have asked a very important question. Have X number of people left India for foreign shows or surrendered their passport? The answer is yes. You know why? Because they were unable to manage the law that they were earlier doing in our country. Please recognize most of them. A, B.
Yes.
I think Reena made a very important point by talking about investment in India. More Indian companies are investing in India today. If there was corruption or if the environment was not sacred, they wouldn't invest. Number 3, to answer your specific question about a report card, it is not my business to comment on whether Mr. Yadav or Mr. Modi, what their profiles are. I'm only saying in a democracy, the critical determinant is who is in power and why do people put them in power. As simple as that. Today, Mamata Banerjee, ask Riju. Mamata Banerjee is a road in Bengal. You may hate her, someone else may hate her. But the people of Bengal love her. That's the reality.
Reena and Meeta Chakrabarti, before I go to Karuna Gopal, Ghanshyam, because he asked, I'll just tell you. And I'm just giving you these numbers, Reena, and then you tell me. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, 10 crore toilets across 6 lakh villages. Beti Bachao, and these are government figures, so these are not just being taken over from an article or somewhere. Huh? This is not an article I'm showing. These are figures of the government of India. I'm saying 10 crore toilets across 6 lakh villages. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao sex ratio at birth improves by 19 points. Ayushman Bharat, 36,000 crores dispersed. Digital India initiative, 40% digital transactions happen in India. Jan Dhan Yojana, 1.5 lakh crores in 44 crore bank accounts direct. PM Awas Yojana, 3 million houses constructed. Har Ghar Nal Se Jal Yojana, 8.7 crore households covered. I am saying these are figures and these are households. This is direct to the people, Reena Gupta. Like you say, when we talk about the Aam Aadmi Party schemes, you say, Aishwarya, this is directly for the people of Delhi. I am saying these are Government of India numbers, not from any article which Ghanshyam or for that matter Shehzad are showing. This is the Government of India figures, Reena Gupta, Meeta Chakrabarti. Reena first.
Yet, okay.
Aishwarya, I think we need to rename Bharatiya Janata Party as the Bharatiya Jumla Party. So if, all of these things are happening, then you explain the numbers to me. Why is unemployment at a 45-year high? Suhail was mentioning about COVID. No, it is not because of COVID. Unemployment is highest in 45 years. So even if you discount for 2-3 years of COVID, even then, you look at any section of the society, whether it's students, whether it's housewives, whether it's farmers, whether it's small and medium enterprise, anybody you look at, you talk to any section of the society, they will tell you that the situation is alarming, the situation is bad. Specifically, the unemployment situation right now in the country is really poor. You talk to MSMEs and somebody else was mentioning about Mudra. All MSMEs are shutting down. Huge numbers are shutting down. You look at farmer suicide data. You look at dropouts from schools and colleges data. Any data you look at, any number you look at, all the numbers are very poor. And if you look at the latest survey which has come out, people are eating less. I was looking at the data today, the National Family Health Survey. People are actually eating less. They don't have enough money to eat.
Shehzad wants to make a point.
So where is all this money going?
Reena Gupta, Shehzad wants to make a very quick point, and then I'm coming.
If you look at inequality, you look at income inequality, it is
just give her
going
10 seconds to
up and
complete.
up in the last 8 years. So what is happening? All the friends of Modi ji, Adanis and the Ambanis,
Okay, Shehzad,
they are becoming richer. And the poor are becoming
Shehzad wants to
poorer
make a
by the
very
day.
quick point, Reena Gupta. Okay.
As far as India is investing in India,
He doesn't stop. He
Sohail,
thinks
I'm
it's an
very
ad
sorry to
slot.
say,
What do you
talk to
do?
the
What do you
Tatas
do with
and builders
people
of
who
the
bring
country.
that
They're
only ads
investing
work
outside
on
India.
television?
They are not investing
Now,
in
can you
India.
stop? Can you be
Nobody wants to
courteous?
invest in India.
They don't stop.
No, they will. Relax. Yeah, don't paint everyone black and blue.
No,
Relax.
I'm not painting
Don't
anyone
paint
black and
everyone
white.
black
But if they see, listen, if they encroach on my
I thought
time,
you will be happy. 8 years Modi government, you are discussing us still.
Aishwarya,
I'm not angry.
if this Amanatullah Algawadi
Suhail is up in New York early in the morning. It's 9:40, so it's going to be around 8:30 something in the morning.
But look, Aishwarya, if Amanatullah Algawadi party encroaches my time, I will remove my bulldozer. Okay, so now let me quote some facts.
Carry on.
Amanatullah Algawadi party. Amanatullah Algawadi party has filed 2000. Amanatullah Algawadi party. Please understand.
Coming, Sohail coming.
Amanatullah Algawadi party. Okay, advertising Amanatullah party. Advertising Amanatullah party. AAP. Now please listen.
Madam, statement क्यों नहीं है सर? चाइना जो बैठा हुआ है.
Okay, my fault. I thought
चाइना के बारे में क्यों नहीं बोलते? चाइना के बारे में बोलिए आप.
Okay, relax.
Party has to listen. Amanatullah advertising party has to listen. They have to listen.
Reena.
She quoted a name for BJP.
You quoted. She quoted something for BJP. You quoted for आप. Okay, भैया लड़ाई माफ करो. करो भैया लड़ाई माफ करो. चलो carry on.
By the way, the Punjab government has filed 2,000 cases.
Mita coming. Relax.
Punjab government has filed 2,000 cases on farmers. By the way, the BJP case, which was going to be solved in 24 hours, has not
What
been
are we
solved.
discussing? We are discussing. Are we discussing Punjab government or are we discussing 8 years of Modi government? You don't have anything to say about the 8 years of Modi government. I'm very happy to discuss Punjab.
Don't interrupt me, Algawadi advertising party. What is the problem?
Reena, I have kept everyone in their time zone. I've kept everyone in their time slot. Please help me.
This is time slot, not ad slot.
It helps everyone.
Slot,
Trust
not
me.
ad
Yes,
slot.
okay, Shehzad, come to the point.
Time slot,
come to the
not
point.
an ad slot. Okay, now please listen. By the way, unemployment is high because Rajasthan has 20% unemployment, more than the national average. Delhi has more than the national average. You should correct that problem. By the way,
Delhi
Akhilesh
has
Yadav's
lower
party
than the national
spokesperson,
average.
you
Please
left
get
the
your
UP
figures
Congress
right.
6th position. We took it to 2nd position. Are you in alliance with Samajwadi? Are you in alliance with Samajwadi? Then keep your mouth shut for a while. Thank you. 18% unemployment by Samajwadi Party. We've taken it down to 3%. You left us at 14th position in ease of doing business.
You are not on Zoom, you can patch your mic.
We took it to 2nd. You can cross check it. 15 crore people are being given free rations. You had only built 10 medical colleges in 70 years. We have built 70 medical colleges in the last 5 years. This is why we were voted back to power. Ghanshyam Tiwari. और पकोड़ा बेचना देश बेचने से अच्छा है. और तुम्हारी तरह टोटी चोरी नहीं की.
अच्छा रिलैक्स.
तुम्हारी तरह टोटी चोरी नहीं की. और अलगाववादी आतंकवादी पार्टी.
Rijuda coming. But first Mita. Mita 30 seconds. Now ending comments for all guys. Mita 30 seconds. 30 seconds each guys. Everyone 30 seconds. Mita guys calm down. I'll come to everyone one by one. Mita first, yeah. Mita first guys please.
So
Ganjam I'll come. Ganjam please I'll come. 30 seconds each, yeah. Mita.
I really cannot shout over other co-panelists. Please be quiet for some time.
Mita, carry on. Your audio is going. Carry on.
By which it was meant to give money to the poorest of the poor. Now, after the COVID breakout, I think I'm the only panelist whose name is Mita. Can others be little quiet, please?
Mita, I have very less time left. Please, Mita, carry on.
Okay,
guys, if you're not going to listen, I am just going to go to...
has been cut down in a time following COVID when there's so much of high unemployment. Is it a surprising thing that in the global hunger index, our position has gone
Rijudatta, ending 30 seconds.
101.
I'll come to you at last. Rijudatta, 30 seconds. Rijudatta, 30 seconds. Rijudatta, 30 seconds.
How do you explain that?
Rijudatta, 30 seconds.
And everything cannot be explained by saying
30
we
seconds.
won the election
Yes.
because only 39% of the people...
How can I speak? She's speaking, yeah, Aishwarya. Put a fader down.
Rijuda, yes, takes your 10 seconds. Yeah.
She's shouting in my ear. Come on.
Rijuda, yes, takes 10 seconds. Carry on.
I just want to, for my closing remark, I just want... Yes, for the closing comments, I just want to say this is 8 years of Jumlacracy, this Jumla Party, Bharatiya Jumla Party. We have seen darkest 8 years of India under the tyrannical and the fascist Modi government, and it's an appeal to the people of this country. Enough is enough. Now open your eyes or take off your spectacle glasses of religion और देखिए कि ये देश खतरे में है. हिंदू मुसलमान सब ठीक है और इनको हटाइए ताकि देश आगे बढ़ सके.
Shehzad, 5 seconds. 5 seconds and you respond. Shehzad on it.
Talibani mindset and culture party which banned Durga Puja and allowed only Tajia is telling us about communalism. And secondly, please tell Ms. Meeta ji, we've spent 91 lakh crores on social sector and capital infrastructure in the last 8 years. UP has spent 49 lakh crores. Still you can cry. You can keep crying. You can keep crying. Rote raho.
We got UNESCO heritage for Durga Puja.
I'm the only person who doesn't represent any political party. Sohail said, last 10 seconds to you, Sohail. You've heard the opposition. You've heard the government. Sohail.
I think, as I said earlier, prime ministers leave legacies of development, harmony, and inclusiveness. It is work in progress. There are many things that the prime minister and his government have done, which to my mind are beneficial to the people. Yes, it is work in progress. Everything can't be completed within 8, 10, even 15 years. But has he sown the seeds of development? Answer is yes. Yeah. The seeds of self-esteem? Answer is yes. And the seeds of brand India being respected across the world? The answer is yes. Does he have more to go? Like Robert Frost, miles to go before he sleeps. Okay. And since he sleeps very little, hopefully things will happen even quicker.
So absolutely, the only point I make before I end this debate is this. You want to take on Modi, take him on, but take him on the work he does. Take him on how he wins elections, because in politics, you see, Reena Gupta, Ghanshyam Tiwari, what all said is said. But at the end of the day, you need to defeat him in elections. That's where it matters the most. Thank you, viewers. That's the time I have on the first debate.
As an amazing step for students, the University Grants Commission has allowed students